A lot of people, when they first start exploring the self-directed learning education, they wonder if they'll be behind their school peers or if their child will fall behind. I'm going to say behind in air quotes because really that's just a made up concept. Someone has decided what each grade needs to learn and how to progress and at what speed. So what might be behind for one society and culture and country is right up to par in other countries. Like curriculum and expectations are cultural, and it's just chosen. One concept that's very important to get used to when you're wondering if your child will be behind is the deschooling concept, and that's different from unschooling. So deschooling is challenging your schooly ideas around what you feel learning looks like, what you think learning is, what you think one should learn at a certain age. It's letting go of the pressure and the outside expectations that your child needs to do more, live more, be more, progress more. It's just an attitude of like letting go and letting things unfold as they will in a trusting, supportive way. Learning is natural. It really is, and it doesn't happen in a straight line. No one ever learns in a straight line. I'm sure many of you in your lives as adults did not progress from one thing to the next. There was probably this like curvy path that took you on different routes until you finally arrived where you're at. Well, this is the same way. And, you know, when you think about if someone will be behind their class, it's important to think like where that attitude comes from. So who's decided who's behind or ahead? In a self-directed learning space, the young people don't judge themselves to one another. They're not comparing grades. They're not comparing who's doing what. Everyone's just working on their own thing at their own pace. One might be really into writing and they're working on that. Another might be doing their music or digital art. Those are completely different topics. So how can you compare? You can't. You can just appreciate what one person's doing and appreciate what the other person's doing and rise each other up. That's what a supportive, self-directed learning environment looks like. The other thing to consider is, you know, school, a lot of the topics in school are just to kind of plant seeds so that later in life you'll kind of be like, I think I learned something about that. What was that? And then you'll dig into it further. Like the Avro Aero comes to mind for me of like, it's kind of a term I know, an airplane, I don't really know what war it's related to or how, but if I saw it somewhere in the news, I would go, oh yeah, that was something to do with one of the wars. I might dig into it further as an adult now if I'm interested, but that was taught. I remember extensively learning about the Avro Aero in school, and I don't remember anything about it except for that name. So that's like a built-up set of background knowledge that we have from school. Well, that stuff still happens in self-directed learning centers, and that stuff still happens in the kids' lives. They, as they go through life, read things, learn things, interact with peers, go to classes, go to extracurricular things, join teams, their life background knowledge is just built up. And now on phones, I mean, they have an encyclopedia and the whole world at their fingertips all the time. There's no reason why they're not going to have this, like these little seeds of information that they can pull on later in life. So this idea of being behind their peers is like a comparison thing, a competitive thing. It's something to consider where that comes from for you and how you'll work to get rid of that if your child is moving towards a more self-directed learning environment. Because it's really important that in order to support them, you really analyze that stuff within you.